I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Hey, welcome back to RBB. Today we're going to be talking about the Hill People Gear Snubby Runner's Kit. Now, I've had this pack for many years now, and I've noticed that chest rigs are starting to come back into fashion. I've always liked this. It was made specifically for the Glock 19. Unfortunately, the original Glock 19, and I say original because it was Glock factory parts, did not take into account modern technology like red dot sights and perhaps compensators and weapon mounted lights. So this pack still works well with just a straight Glock 19. Also, the Glock 43X size things, if you're rocking like a SIG P365 all the way up to the X Macro, it fits fine in here. But once you start hanging furniture off of it, then things start to get a little sketchy. So you'll notice that I don't have the Hill People Gear tag on there. It's the thread started coming off of it, so I just took it off, and that was years ago. But I am wearing the requisite hat, and it does have the sweat stains that they promise you're going to have if you wear it long enough. I've had this a long time, and yeah, it's gross, but it's a very comfortable, cool hat too. So today we're going to talk about some of the things about this that make it such a good choice if you do like to go out and you're in those fringe cases where a regular holster around the waist doesn't work really well. Places such as if you're going to go trail running, or even if you're going to go run on the local track and you're doing it in odd hours and you just kind of want to have some sort of a small firearm with you just in case, this is the ideal bag for it. The one thing you do have to get used to, though, is that you are carrying a gun in a concealed bag where half of the human population wear a bra. And so if you can get over that and just call it, hey, it's a chest rig, not a bra. If you can get over that, this is very useful. Now, the main compartment you will notice is for the firearm. If you talk to the Hill People Gear folks or watch their videos, they will say that there's really no need for a trigger guard holster or a trigger guard cover to anchor the gun in here because of gravity. That's fine if you're standing up and gravity can assist you. Unfortunately, if you are in a situation where you're not standing straight up, getting ready to get into your perfect shooting platform, then the gun could very easily fall out, and that can be a problem. So I do like the gun anchored in here with a trigger guard holster that is capable of holding the firearm and keeping it from falling onto the ground should there be some sort of a predator around. That's the last thing you want, is to not only have to fight the predator, but have to fight to get your gun back too. So I prefer having a trigger guard cover, but that's just me. So what is this chest rig best for? As I mentioned before, trail running, if you happen to be doing things where there's not a lot of people around, obviously the more people there are around, the more this can kind of arouse suspicion, like a fanny pack can, that you're carrying some sort of a weapon. And look, you don't have to care, but if you're going to be in the same environment for a while, people are going to start to get suspicious of what it is. And so I prefer to blend in and not necessarily draw attention to myself. And I think a lot of people are like that. Is if you're just passing through and people are only going to see you once as you're running or what have you, they may take note of this chest rig, but they're not necessarily going to care because you're still going somewhere else. And these are kind of the ideal times that if a holster on a belt or some sort of like a belly band system doesn't work for you in the situation you're in, this keeps the gun up close with the runner's kit attached, which you'll see in a second. With the runner's kit attached, there's no flopping. This thing actually holds pretty well. Now, getting into the secondary compartment where you can store stuff, I gotta admit, this area here is meant to be minimalist. You can fit like some earbuds, maybe a Glock 43 spare mag in there, maybe a flashlight. I have a whistle in here. They do make these with PALS webbing on them, so maybe you can add another pouch and do it that way. Personally, I think I want to be really minimalist when I'm doing this, and this is why I bought this one. So the only mods that I've made to this bag is I put shrink wrap on the paracords just to stiffen them up a little bit, so that if there is a technique for drawing the gun where you actually get a hold of two of the cords on the secondary compartment, pull them, and that will open the bag up so that you can draw the firearm. So that's really the only thing I've actually done to alter this. So basically the shrink wrap does not come with the Hill People Gear bag. You got to add that yourself. The reason why I went with a slick bag, no molly, is I'm the kind of guy that if I have a lot of pockets in my pants, problem is I start to fill the pockets with stuff. And so I'm walking around with way too much stuff, way too much gear. And it's kind of the same thing with the bag here. If you start, in my experience, if I start putting pals on it, then I find a reason to use that pals, even if it's not necessary. So I went kind of smooth, and that also kind of downplays the low profile look of this bag because it's slick and it doesn't have any pals on it. They also make these in a couple of colors that are not traditionally militaristic colors. Unfortunately, those are the biggest sellers of this pack, and you have to get on a waiting list because they're rarely available at any given time because they sell out and they're so popular. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you right back here next time on Ranges, Backstops, and Burns.